All right, welcome back to another episode of Ask a Clutter Boss. I am Jess Marcy. I am your clutter boss for today, and it's so nice to see everyone here already on our Tuesday morning. Good morning, Mary. Good morning, Caroline. Love Me Clutter Free Coaching. Welcome to the show. All right, so we have a couple of questions that have been submitted today. And let's just dive right in. I love this one. Actually, I think that it was maybe in the comments last time. I'm a big procrastinator. What can I do? So here is the deal. Good morning, Susan. Here is the deal. If you are a big procrastinator, and just so you know, I am also a big procrastinator. You need to there's two things that you can do. Number one, it's a great strategy. Give yourself a deadline. Give yourself a real deadline so that when you come up against that deadline, you get stuff done. I know as a procrastinator myself, when I have a deadline, I am so productive right before that deadline. So I use deadlines to work for my advantage. If you are decluttering, and you're not sure how to create a deadline for yourself because you can create deadlines, but there's really no sense of urgency if you're creating your own deadline. Good morning, Trish. A couple of things you can do. Number one, plan a party at your house or plan an event at your house or invite a friend over for coffee or tea or a drink. Invite people into your house. Have a set time that you are going to need your house to be in a certain condition that you feel comfortable letting other people in. That is a deadline. That is a great deadline that procrastinators can all get behind. Oh my goodness, I have people coming. I need to get stuff done. One of my clients recently just hired a cleaning service to come and do a deep clean. She has been working tirelessly to get her house decluttered, and maintaining it is really a struggle for so many of us. So she hired a cleaning service. Now she has that deadline to keep her house maintained because there's a deadline. So procrastinators unite again. Good morning, Biddy Frog. Good morning, Denise. Another thing that you can do to create that deadline when you're a procrastinator and you're trying to declutter, good morning, Patty, is to get a donation pickup. So like if you go to donationtown.org. Yeah, I think it's donationtown.org. You can see what charities can come to your house and pick up your stuff. And this is such a great way to get things out of your house really quickly and easily. There's so many different organizations that will send a truck to your house and pick up your donations. You don't even need to be home. You just put your stuff all outside in front of your garage or on your porch or whatever, and the donation truck will come and pick it up. Having that deadline is so powerful. I have a lot of clients that set up those donations, and they're usually it takes a couple of weeks before you can get onto the schedule. And the night before that truck is coming, they are just running around their houses getting so much stuff out. So a couple of different things you can do if you're a procrastinator. Work with your personality. Know what works for you. As procrastinators, and I am so definitely a procrastinator, deadlines help. Deadlines help. I am so productive before a deadline. And I bet that you, procrastinator, also are so productive before a deadline. If you don't want to set a deadline for yourself, then you have to just overcome this aspect of your personality. Like if you don't want to work with it, then you need to kind of push against it, right? So that means take action. Take action. Say, okay, I know I'm a procrastinator. I know I normally put off doing stuff. I'm going to take this aspect of my personality. I'm going to put it over here for right now. And I am going to take action. I'm going to pretend to be somebody else for the next 20 minutes. I'm not a procrastinator. I am an action taker, and I'm going to take action. And a lot of times taking that action brings some motivation into the equation, and then you can also overcome your procrastination that way. So great question. If you are a procrastinator and you are watching this video right now, number one, let us know you're part of the procrastination team. And number two, do you have a strategy that works really well for overcoming procrastination? Good morning, Linda. What works for you? Let us know in the comments. After all, Clutter Boss is community-based, and your input, strategies that have worked for you are really good for all of us to hear. If you have a question and it was not submitted on the form, go ahead and pop it into the comments right now. In the meantime, I am going to get back to the questions that were submitted. And this one came up last week in boot camp. I'm excited it came up again because it's a really powerful question, and it's a situation that so many of us find ourselves in. Queen of procrastination. Good morning, Christine. Good morning, Sherry. Okay, I am making progress in my house, but nobody else can see it except for me. My husband says it's not enough. And I also feel like it's not enough. I'm wondering, what is the point? Why do I keep doing this when nobody else can see the progress that I am making? Good morning, Yelena. All right, this is a great question. I've got all these little flyaways today. This is a great question. When other people in our homes don't see the progress that we're making and they don't encourage us, it really feels so defeating. Oftentimes, I advise our clients, when you're working with us, to turn off those voices in your house. So if somebody says, if you're looking for validation about the work that you've done, and I know external validation really feels good, and we're not supposed to need it, but it feels great. If you're looking for that validation, instead of getting it from your family, because within our families, we have these communication patterns that are so difficult to break. And oftentimes you make progress, it's not how the other person would have done it. Their expectations are someplace else. The conversation doesn't go great. You end up feeling worse than you did to begin with. Turn off those conversations. If somebody says something to you, don't listen to it. Instead, go into our communities, post your progress there, and turn up the volume within our communities. Listen to the validation and feedback and support and love that you are getting from other people who know how difficult it is to tackle clutter. So temporarily, while you're going through this process, we know that decluttering is challenging. We know that it can take a lot of time. We know that other people in our lives may not give us the support that we need for a variety of different reasons. It doesn't mean they're a bad person. It just means we're in a communication rut with them, and there's a lot more going on besides just decluttering. Turn the volume down on the everyday communication. Turn the volume up on the communication that you're getting from people who actually are ready to support you with all these little baby steps, because we know that's what it takes. So listen to the voices in our community, tune into that. And when it comes to the voices at home, just turn them down for now. You're going to make slow, steady, consistent progress. One day, everyone's going to see it. If you're the only person who can see it right now, let us know. We will be able to see it too. And we know that baby steps is the way forward. And if you throw out 5 magnets on your fridge out of 100 magnets, we will cheer you on. We will say, great job, awesome start. And I know that we'll do that because that's how our communities are. But also, somebody once did throw out 5 magnets. It was the most that they could do. And they got so much support for throwing out those 5 magnets. So I'm just saying, sometimes we need to tune into other voices. We need to tune into other layers of support. We need to find our tribe that is going to propel us forward in accomplishing our goals. And it may not be the people that you're hanging out with every single day. And that is okay. That is okay. Find your people for whatever you're tackling and lean in to those people who are going to give you the support and motivation that you need to move forward. Okay. So let's see. We're going back to the procrastination question. Definitely a procrastinator, still looking for a lasting solution. Right now, the bingo mins game is working. I love that. And let me just explain what the mins game is, just in case somebody doesn't know. The mins game, it comes from the minimalists, who are very big voices in the minimalism movement. And the way that they put together this game is to declutter on the first day of the month, 1 item. On the second day of the month, 2 items. On the third day of the month, 3 items. I think if I remember correctly, after 30 or 31 days, you're at like 650 items. So on day 30, you're getting rid of 30 items. And you go throughout the month and you do that. Now, there's a lot of different ways that variations that you can play the men's game. You can do it calendar month. And in fact, September is coming up, might be a good month to start a men's game. You can do it in reverse order. So some people like to get the hardest stuff over with first. So they do 30 or 31 first, and then they go down from there. Some people play bingo. So you have, 31, 30 squares, and you just pick a number for that day. So it's a little bit more random. It's fun. It's game. We're gamifying decluttering. And that actually is a great way to tackle those procrastination feelings. This is what you have to do today. It's a defined amount. Get it done. Fill out that bingo card and move forward. Trish, thank you so much for sharing that. Um, both techniques for procrastination work for me. I just need encouragement to use the techniques. Okay, so here's your little gentle encouragement. After we're done with this Ask a Clutter Boss today, text a friend and invite them over for coffee or tea at some point in the future. Get it on the calendar. There's a little encouraging nudge. Let's see. Yeah, the minimalist game is super cool. Okay, after 2 years of decluttering, my husband has gave away 4 paintings yesterday to a neighbor. Your family will not only notice, they will participate in their own time. And that's the key there, in their own time. Everyone's timelines for accomplishing goals are different. And you may have a timeline that you would like to adhere to, but the reality is it could be a little bit slower than you think it's going to be. And other people may have a timeline for you accomplishing your goals. And the reality is, it's your timeline, not their timeline. Most of the time, when you're decluttering, other people in your house will eventually start decluttering too. Now you may also be decluttering and wish that they were decluttering more. They will eventually, 99% of the time. So, just kind of keep at it. Just keep at it. Just keep at it. It's the only path forward is to continue to try, try, try. Keep at it. Let me see here. Okay, here's a good question. How do you know what to get rid of when a parent passes away in terms of papers? So, anytime you're decluttering papers, one reason that we tend to hang on to papers a lot is because we don't know what we need to keep and what we need to let go of. And whether it's from an estate or your own work papers or just your own personal papers, that not knowing if we need to keep a sheet of paper makes us hang on to it because what if? What if? So, my number one piece of advice when it comes to paper is to get those answers. Find out from a professional and not a professional organizer because there's no like your situation is unique. The estate that you're dealing with your parents has unique facets to it that no professional organizer is going to be able to say blanket statement, this is what you need to do. However, you should have a lawyer or an accountant or somebody who can actually, or maybe it's a government agency that can actually tell you you need to keep these sheets of paper or you don't need to keep these sheets of paper. Generally, if something is digital and on paper, if you have a digital copy, that is usually good enough. If you're not sure, about a certain sheet of paper, if a digital copy is good enough or not, call somebody who knows the answer. So you really want to come up with your own personal guide for what papers I must keep. And that guide is going to be derived from conversations that you have with professionals who know enough about your situation to give you a real answer. Maybe it's your doctor who can say, you don't need to keep these things because we have them digital here. Or we would never look at this because it's, 25 x-rays ago. Or maybe they're going to say to you, actually, it would be helpful to have this history. So I would go ahead and keep this. Same thing, ask your accountant, do I need to keep this information? How many years of taxes do I need to keep given my specific scenario, right? And that's the thing, everyone is in different states with different scenarios, so you need to find your own answer. So it really is a couple of phone calls away. So pick up when tackling papers, you want to pick up the phone, find the answers. It's like phone calls and papers go together. Yes, yeah, contact a professional to get those answers. And with an estate, it's usually a lawyer. So there's usually a lawyer who can tell you, you're going to need to keep this. You're not going to, you're not going to need this at all. And it might be a government agency too. Like, there's certain things, obviously, you need to keep, like death certificates, but other things, yeah, find the answer. So that's the best way to tackle all of your papers, is to come up with your own guide. And then as you're going through your papers, you can say, oh, this is from 2004. And on my guide, it says I only need to keep these papers for the last 3 years, so I can let this go. So you kind of create your own little guide to move forward with papers. All right. That is all of the questions. I mean, everything else is kind of a duplicate question. Those are all of the questions that we had submitted for today. If you have a question for next time, we will pop the form into the comments. You can put your question on the form. Just a reminder, we have a incredibly awesome, totally judgment-free Facebook group. It's all clutter. Go ahead and join that group if you're not there already. It's a great spot to ask questions, get coaching from our coaches who are in there, be part of our community, support other people, which also really helps your own journey, as we talked about on our Monday morning motivation yesterday. Thank you so, so much. Oh, one more note. Go ahead, like, comment, and share. Follow our channel. It helps our small business grow, and it's deeply appreciated by everybody over here. Thank you so much for joining us live. If you're here on replay, give me a hashtag replay. I will pop over and say hello later. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye, everyone.